Hello, it's Sunday, or actually Monday morning now, 4:19 a.m. Haven't got to bed yet. I keep this schedule because when I was homeschooling my son, then I would get up 9, 10, but he told me he was bored. So I should have let him go to school just so that, well, he was bored because I didn't have the money to get all the projects going that I wanted to get. The reason I don't work is because my mom is rich. Um, Old people in the United States have money. They get their check and so on. And so what happened to me was I was cleaning toilets for the Catholic Church when I was 12 years old, or about that, sixth grade. Yeah, 11, 12. And I used to give her all the $4.25 an hour, and I used to give her 1 hour a day. I used to give her all that money. All right. So I never saw the money. I was not like my classmates or people that I knew. They would buy watches, they would buy gym shoes, they would buy a pizza with their girlfriends. Everything was different. They got to keep their money. And my mom went to one time she moved out, and that's why I don't want a job, because if I have a job, then she moves out again. uh, I believe, as tough as she was as a parent, or horrible, there are worse parents out there. Uh, I used to shake in fear, but inside I was so afraid of her. But I've seen worse parents already, only 1 block away. Uh, yeah, they're somehow related to us, but they're worse in the sense that no patience, no love, I think is the word. They're not a hugging, kissing type, or hugging your baby, or and they just spend, or this lady, she just spends her day all day on Facebook. And the child, preschooler, he grabbed the iPhone and he broke it. Now, of course, my kids put pennies in the CD player in the minivan, the first minivan. May have been a tape player. Yeah, it was a tape player. This one has CDs. So kids do mess up your tools and equipment, or your toys. When you go to accounting class, they teach you not to use the word toys because you cannot deduct anything with the toys. But I think the cat's outside and wants to come in. Uh, so they call everything tools and equipment. If she really wants to come in, she could jump on the window like she usually does. And then I know that she's up there hanging on, and I open the door for her. Um, Alright, so parenting is the toughest job you have. I saw a beautiful video about religious marriage counseling, and I forgot if it was the wife or the husband, but they mentioned we were the first couple to receive joint custody of our child. So they ended up living, they got divorced, but they ended up living in the same house. It was just ridiculous. They would walk around each other without touching each other, and they wouldn't yell or anything, but it was just tension. And for Christmas, they both had a Christmas tree with different types of presents at different parts of the house. And I was cracking up when I saw it. I probably saved it to my favorites. I gotta show it to the spouse. So what ended up happening is the wife was more religious, maybe. And she said, "What are we doing? What kind of a life is this?" And so before that, they had been yelling at each other before they got divorced. But after they got divorced, they just kept living there. It was so comical. I had never heard of that. Roommates after being divorced with joint custody. And that was great because the kids do need a dad. A good dad. So what happened was they got married again, and then they started living. I mean, they kept living together all this time. But they said for a year and a half they had a horrible time. But the marriage counseling, religious marriage counseling, worked out. You see, there are some people that, as soon as they get upset, they're called hot reactors. I'm not a hot reactor. Alright? Even if I get upset with you right now, I will not do anything to you right now. I'm a planner. I plan everything. Sometimes it doesn't work out. Like I did get Baker acted, you know. That didn't work out. And then I got humbled. And so, like in another video I spoke, my daughter was at 9 o'clock watching her Kindle. And the problem I have with that is, number one, I don't like the TV show she's watching, the video she's watching. Number two, I have zero communication with my daughter except for today. That I'm talking about when you have teenagers, they just shut down and don't want to talk to you. So now I'm making myself more important by being in this garage. She came to visit me at least twice this week, 2 days in a row. One day because my son had made a butter candle. Yes. You grab a toothpick, you wrap it with toilet paper, you rub it on the butter, then you poke it through the middle of the butter. You cut the butter stick, cut it in half so it's like an inch square, and then you light it, and it took 24 minutes for it for the first candle to die out or burn up. But by then, only the wick, only the toothpick and the toilet paper died out. You could have, well, you only had about 1/4 inch left of butter. So, yeah. So my son grabbed a piggy bank, and he told his mother that he wanted to buy butter so he could make another candle. But since she has so many problems, situations, she told him no, which is true. She's automatic. Anything weird like that, it's a no-no. So we ended up, well, they had to buy butter anyway, so we just, my son ended up just bringing it over here and lighting it up, because he did call him to come and watch, but I'm the only one apparently that has time for things like this. But my daughter did come and watch it, but she didn't see him light it at the beginning. It was already on when she came. Grandma didn't come because she's gotta step down to get over here. She's in bed all day, every day. I told her to watch a movie. I told Grandma to watch a movie with me tonight. We watched The Diary of Anne Frank about 2 nights ago. But my mother didn't want to watch it tonight because she's going to go to the doctor's tomorrow. Another doctor's appointment. And the spouse is going to drive her. I would drive them, but Mother Teresa said, never do anything for people that don't say please and thank you. Well, she actually said, don't say it for people that are not humble. And yeah, I know she's my mom. I know that my spouse doesn't have the time to go pick her up. So what's going to happen is the spouse drops her off at the doctor's, drives to work. On her lunch break, she picks up my mother, brings her back here. And then an hour later, maybe two, I wake up sometime after 12, But the reason I don't do that is because there was so much tension anytime that I drove. For instance, maybe you're a single man right now. When you drive, you park anywhere you want. But when I drive, they tell me to park here in the handicap, and sometimes there is no handicaps open space. So I drive around, and I used to, when I went to Walmart, I'll park it all the way at the end, at the entrance, and walk. That wouldn't bother me. But my mother doesn't want to walk, so that bothers her. And I am a passive aggressive. According to a girlfriend long ago, she says I was passive aggressive. That means that I make my mother walk. I see it as tough love. But anyway, what happens is we start arguing to the point that at that time it was my mother's car. She had a rent-a-car. And we went to Walmart. And I walked home by myself because I could not stand the tension. We were arguing. Something joyful is not joyful. First, it begins with the spouse saying that I drive too slow, or that I'm too far over on the, does she say the left side or the right side? I'm not sure. Of my lane, which is the slow lane. So now I understand. When I was a security guard, I used to see husband and wife come in, and they would both come in from a restaurant with two separate cars. And then they would both be on the phone. She would walk faster than him, and he would slowly walk behind her. And these people, they were only 40 years old, but no kids, rich millionaires, Mercedes, and a sports, something sporty, something convertible for him. I mean, it was different. So now I understand them. I really do. Especially this other one. He was very, very well, excellent shape. And he was always walking around in sandals all day long. And his wife, she had the most beautiful dresses. She was a real estate agent, and she used to sell condos in that building. And she would have the hats, everything beautiful. She was really a princess. And he was a excellent looking guy. I mean, a model. However, one time she told me she's expecting two gentlemen to come visit her. And when I saw them, they were half their age, they were younger. They were very well dressed. And I guess she didn't want me to get ideas, so she told me she's going dancing. And I'm thinking, why don't you take your husband? But no, she took young men dancing. Now I understand very much. Sometimes we love each other, but we don't have the same fun activities. Mine might be canoeing, hers might be shopping at the mall, which that's what it is. Enjoy your life. Talk to you later.